So, quick status update on the garage insulation and electrical project. Made it back from the big box store, bought my electrical boxes, my wire, that's the yellow stuff right there, and more insulation right there. That's enough insulation to finish this project all the way to the corner there. I'm 99% sure that all of that is insulated already, because that is beyond that is living space. What I'm not sure about is above the garage door, around the sides of the garage door. I still need to scope that out. But I pulled out the insulation that I had put in already so I can expose where I want to put my wiring. This side of my garage is going to be my wood shop, my woodworking stuff. So I'll have a chop saw set up, and I'll probably put things like my bench grinder, stuff like that. That's going to be on this side of the garage, so I need outlets as far as there, and then I have an extension cord with a plug strip that'll mount on the wall there. So that'll get me electrical further towards the front of the garage as well. Basically it'll have 4 outlets in this cavity here, about there, one on this wall too. I planned for 4 basically between the garage door and halfway up the garage. This run that comes clear over to here, that run's got to go clear over underneath the decking that goes into the garage there, and then into the basement. From there, clear over to the center of the house is where the breaker box is, so I've got to get clear over there. I'm also going to put outlets along over here. This is going to be my automotive tools, my air compressor, stuff like that. So I need outlets for drills and those type of things. My workbench, I want power at the workbench as well, obviously. So I'm going to have 2 runs coming from the breaker box out here. One will be this half of the garage, and one will be this half. I'm using 20 amp breakers, so I have plenty of amperage to do all the things. But this place is a wreck, and I have got to get this put back together. I want to get back to working on cars, honestly. My 2 trucks I'm working on. But I've got to get stuff put here. I've got to get shelves mounted. I've got to get all of this stuff up and off the floor to free up the space. It's going to start coming together pretty quick once I get my sheeting on the walls. I'm still debating on how I'm going to finish it, because I don't want it to just be blank wood. But I picked the wood so that I can mount things anywhere. I don't have to try to hit a stud behind sheetrock and worry about leaving a hole in the sheetrock. But I'm probably gonna paint. But anyway, you guys get to watch me work for a minute. I'll probably just do a time lapse, so enjoy some music and watch me work. Starting with an electrical box there, drilling holes all the way back through, putting electrical boxes in as I go. Enjoy. Staples poking through that from the outside, putting the siding on. Trying not to eat up my hands too much. There we go. Jeez, it's harder than it needed to be, and I only came out a little bit bloody. So I'm breaking out 2 of the back tabs so I have room to come in and go back out with my wire to continue on to the end of the run. Alright, so this is the end, this is the end of the run. Only 1 wire coming in, obviously. I'll have 2 duplex units in there, so I'm going to have to do a little wiring between the 2 units there, but I'll take care of that when I install them. And here we've got the wire coming in, feeding it, and then the wire going out to the end. Same thing all the way down. 2 wires in there. 2 wires in there. Well, there will be as soon as I finish it out. I've still got to tear out that sheetrock so that I can get over. And then right behind that wall is the basement. So I've got to get underneath there. Oh yeah, it's gonna be a mess. So anyway, that's what I've got going on. I'm actually going to finish insulating and then put my sheeting up so that I can, well, just so that that part's done and I can decide what I'm doing with that. I can always tie this stuff in later. But that's the plan for the day. I've got 2 more sheets of OSB, so I can put one there and one there. And then I still need to buy another 5, 6, depending on what I do above the garage door. But let's get busy. Lots to do. Alright, insulation is in, and we're ready to put our OSB sheeting up. Got to cut out for our outlet boxes as we go, but let's get after it. So I'm done for the night. I put up 5 sheets of the OSB. Well, only 2 tonight. I had 3 up before, but I only had 5 of them total. I've done all of the insulation up to the point where I need to still tie into that last box, go over and then down into the basement. I've still got to get down underneath the landing area there to get the sheetrock off so that I can insulate behind that and get my wire through down into the basement. So I have all my supplies for this, but I am just done for the night. I'm tired. I'm gonna go sit in the hot tub and soak my lazy bones. But I still have a whole bag of insulation. I had to buy a whole nother bag. The insulation that I picked is Rockwool. Yes, it's more expensive. Don't tell my wife. But I really liked the idea of it being soundproof, sound barrier, not soundproof, but it's an additional sound barrier. I'm worried about what my neighbors, I've got a neighbor that's right here. His garage faces this direction, and I don't want to have to worry about him being bugged by all my power tools and whatnot. So being courteous to my neighbors, be a cool neighbor, it's a good idea. This is the garage project so far. I am going to put some lighting up here because it's pretty dark back in that corner back there. I'm going to put more lights up. I haven't decided exactly which lights to do at this point. I actually built LED lights at the old house. That's what these are. They're 8 feet long with LEDs on them. Let's see if I can show those without tipping them over. But each one of those is an LED light. And they're super bright, but they run off of ballasts and whatnot, and they just kind of, it's not ideal. A couple of my solder joints have broken off on the ends, so they don't work all that great. But they serve the purpose at the other house. But now it's time to upgrade. So we're gonna get the rest of the ceiling painted, get some real lights mounted. Those are actually pretty cool. I've got a video on those. I'll put a link up above for those. They are pretty bright. They're LEDs. I think they're 65 watts a piece, but have LEDs all over them, and they throw some pretty good light for what they are. Better than just a single little bulb in there. Anyway, well, it's been a minute. In fact, it's been several months. The first portion of this video was recorded in February of 2020, right before the COVID shutdown. Since then, I've done quite a bit of work on the shop itself, among being super crazy busy on all the other things that I have going on. My garage space has turned in more of a shop space, project space, but you can see that I've painted the walls. That's the farthest outlet away from the breaker panel right there. And then you see that black cord coming out. That goes over to the plug strip that I was talking about to get me more outlets closer to the door. I love having plywood on my walls. I'm able to hang things anywhere and everywhere that I want. An example of that, I've given my wife that entire front wall. Everything up there is hers. This cabinet's hers. She can store anything in there that she wants. I put her up a great big shelf here. We both use the step stools. That's a good place to store those. It's hard to do this backwards, but. And then all of her cleaning supplies are up there. But I can put a screw anywhere and hang anything anywhere that I want. Did a little work on my backdrop up here. Of course, I've got a bathroom painting project going on. My daughter's building a dollhouse. I'm refinishing a dining room table for my wife for Christmas. We're storing something for a friend that's a surprise for their kids for Christmas, so trying not to spoil that for them. But I've got all my outlets in. I've got the majority of my stuff hung out here in the garage, and I am loving this space. I've gotten new shop lights. I just haven't put those up. Speaking of, those are the lights that I was talking about earlier in the video that were stacked over in the corner that I had at the other house. I put one there and one along there. I am going to be taking those out from where they're currently at and putting them further down in the garage when I put my new shop lights up here. And then I'll take the winged LED lights and put those down in the basement in storage rooms and whatnot. But I wanted to close this video out, give you guys a current glimpse of what my shop looks like now. It's drastically different. I don't have even an ounce of floor space per se, but it's fine. That's what this space is for projects and whatnot. We'll get them done eventually and get our garage back to what it was before. I'm still working on my cars, trucks, those type of projects are coming. So subscribe if you're not subscribed, ring the little bell, get notified of all the things that I update. And again, this is Troy with DIY Home and Auto. Check the links down below. I have some affiliates and ways that you can support my channel. I appreciate all that love and support. Be sure and like, subscribe, share, do all those things. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you guys in the next video.